Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. In this session, let us see about research skills and methodology. So here I'm going to discuss wide range of things related to research and this information will greatly benefit you. So please watch till the end and you may also write your comments in the video about what you think so that it helps everyone. And so in the contents, let us see literature review, first step, and then writing about methods in the paper and writing about results, discussion of results. So here, first deals with literature review. That is what literature has took place and what is the scope for that project. And next three things deals with writing the research paper. So firstly writing about methods, then writing about results and discussion of results. So this is a main component of the research paper. Then research ethics, some ethics that will help you to do research in a much better way and to present it very well. So when we are doing research and when we are putting time into this, so it's better that we do everything in a better way without waste of our energy and time. And next, this next thing is finding what to read. This is about for the sake of literature review. And next, elements of writing. So what are the different elements present in our research paper writing? And next, some of the main research paper writing skills which will be useful. And next, outlining, so how we present different points in the research paper. So the points that we write in the research paper should not be done randomly, but some steps is there. So whether we are writing about methods or whether we are writing about results, so some in a proper way, that is known as outlining. So next, so firstly, let us see literature review. These are some of the main important points of the literature review. Firstly, this is one of the most important steps in the research process. So without doing a proper literature review, you cannot conduct a good research. So this is one of the important and foremost step in this as a researcher or any researcher. And so how does this literature review helps? It helps to identify what is already known about a research problem. And next, the main purpose of literature review is to convey to the readers about the work which was already done and the knowledge and ideas that have been already established on a particular topic of research. So that will give us knowledge and ideas which was already established. And next, it helps us to build on previous knowledge. So to progress further, we need the previous knowledge. So it will help us to build the so it will help us to build on the previous knowledge. And next, many published research studies contain recommendation for future research. Also, when we do literature survey, we will get an idea what to do further. So and it makes a researcher know what already has been done in a particular area, so to avoid duplication. Suppose if you are working on the same idea which was implemented already, then your work would go waste. So that shouldn't happen. That is to avoid duplication. This literature review will help you, and it is necessary to narrow the problem to be studied. So instead of working in a broader way and putting more time and energy unnecessarily, it will give an idea to make it very narrow. So next, and also here, identify the questions a body of research does not answer. And it is also used to identify the questions of research, and it helps researchers to get acquainted with the relevant theory, strategies, tools and instruments for conducting the research. So here we will get an idea what tools are required, what strategies are required, and what instruments are required for conducting the research. And it also helps us to understand different ways of conducting the research study. So this all will help us in doing research in a more sophisticated way. And next, it also helps us to identify comparative data to helps interpretation and discussion of previous study. So from the previous study, we will get comparative data, so which we can interpret, and so this will help us to make a comparison between the data. And literature review is a laborious task, even though it is laborious, but it is very essential if the research process has to be successful. So, literature review is vital, even though it is laborious, because then only our research process will go successful. And next, sources of the literature review. So how we can do literature review? For that, we have electronic database, that is internet. We have books, textbooks it could be, and journals, that is published research papers in journals, and conference papers, so wherever conference has taken place, and thesis like master's thesis, PhD thesis, that will give a total information about the research problem. And I also some encyclopedia and dictionary, where you can get some information about that topic, and research reports which are presented, and magazines and newspapers for some types of research. Next, what are the steps of literature review? So, going in these steps will make your literature review very successful. Firstly, choose the topic. Then, once you choose the topic, firstly identify the databases and resources what are available. Then search them and refine those materials. So once you do this, then go for reading and analyzing. So initially it's not wise to go directly into reading and analyzing, but once we identify the resources, and after searching them and refining them, once you get that proper collection of what you need, then read and analyze. Then at last, from what you read, make write the review. Next is, what should be the content of the literature review? So firstly, you have to write the introduction. While writing the introduction, you have to follow these steps. Firstly, define or identify the general topic, issue or area of concern. So that will give a proper context for your literature review. Then point out all the overall trends which was established. So it must be the trend, like in a sequence. It should be there, so that and we have to also mention the conflicts in the theory, methodology, evidence, and conclusion, or gaps in research and scholarship, or a single problem or new perspective of immediate interest. So those things we have to do after, once we mention our concern for the research. Then at last, establish the writer's point of view for reviewing the literature, like explaining the criteria to be used in analyzing. So, if you are doing some analysis in the research, then what is the criteria for that? And then compare the literature and the organization or review. So, this must be in sequence. Next we have to write the body. So, following measures need to be undertaken while writing the body of the literature. So what are those? Group research studies and other types of literature, that is reviews, theoretical articles, case studies, according to common denominators such as qualitative versus quantitative approach, and the conclusions of the author, and specific purposes or objectives, and chronology, and so on. So this is important. And next, summarize the individual studies. So whatever the papers you have taken in the body, we have to summarize each of them with the means. When we do this, we have to do with little detail, as each merits according to its comparative importance in the literature. And remembering that space denotes significance, so how much significance it is there, that much space it should take. in the body, and assist the reader with strong umbrella sentences at the beginning of paragraphs, signpost throughout, and brief summary sentences at intermediate points. Now, so next, writing the conclusion. So, in the literature review, the next point is conclusion. So, the points to be taken care of in the conclusion are as follows. Firstly, summarize major contributions of significant studies. So, identify the significant studies in the literature review and summarize major contributions of these studies and articles to the body of knowledge under review, maintaining the focus established in the introduction. That is, whatever you have already put in the introduction, you have to reflect on that in the conclusion. Next, evaluate the current state of art for the body of knowledge reviewed. Means currently what is the scope and status that you have to review in the conclusion, so that it will and pointing out major methodological flaws or gaps in research. This is very important. So when you point out some methodological flaws or gaps in the research, then it denotes that you are willing to rectify them in your research. So in your thesis, MTech or PhD thesis, first part will be uh, literature review. So someone firstly reads the literature review. When they read introduction, body, and conclusions, so from there it will give the impression to go further. So if you mention these, then it will draw the reader of your thesis to further chapters in the thesis. So next, conclude by providing some insight into the relationship between central topic of the literature. So you must talk about the central topic of your literature. Next, writing about the methods. So every thesis, regardless of the discipline and field of inquiry, it relates to needs to answer these questions. So after literature review, the next thing that we have to do is writing about the methods. So in the methods, you have to answer these questions. How did you do your research, and why did you do it that way? This is main important questions. How and why did you opted that particular method? So this must be very crucial, and this covers not only the methods used to collect and analyze data, but also the theoretical framework that informs both the choice of methods and the approach to interpreting the data. So not only the collection and analyzing data, but also choice of methods to interpret the data which you have collected. That is also very essential. Otherwise, there is no meaning of your data unless you find a proper method to interpret the data. Then data won't have any proper meaning. So this is something very important, and available methods and theoretical approaches for your research topic should be summarized. So what are the methods is there that should be summarized, and choice of methods that you take should be justified. So when a combination of methods is used, that also needs to be justified, and the methodology should include the type of research you did. These five things are very important in the methodology: the type of research you did, how you collected your data, and how you analyzed your data, and any tools or materials you used in the research. That also you need to mention, and your rationale for choosing these methods. That is a uh, logical explanation for choosing the particular method. And so, in the step one of this, explain the methodological approach. So in the methodological approach, firstly, you have to describe characteristics and establish cause and effect relationship. Next, quantitative data and qualitative data that is needed. And next, you need to answer, is it primary data or secondary data used? So each data has its own significance. Like primary data has its own significance, and secondary data it so significance is lesser than the primary one, so that also need to be mentioned. And also you need to mention the methods of data collection, quantitative and qualitative. So, and next, describe the methods of analysis, how the data is processed and analyzed. In the step 4, evaluate and justify the methodological choices that you make. Why you choose this particular method, and discuss why other methods were not suitable for your objectives. Acknowledge limitations or weaknesses in the approach you chose, but also you have to justify why these were overweighted by the strengths. So why your method is better than the other methods, that also you need to justify. um, and in case you have any in your approach, in your method, if there are any limitations or weaknesses, you need to mention them as well. And even like you have to justify them. Suppose if a weakness is there, it should not be really a big big drawback for your research. So you must justify that even though it is present, it's fine. So that need to be conveyed by the researcher. Next comes the writing about results. So once you get results, this results section should include the findings of your study. So it should include only your findings and not the papers you reviewed or anything like that. And the data presented in tables, charts, graphs, and other figures may be placed among research text or on a separate page. So uh, either you can put them on the research text or on a separate page you may put these tables, charts, graphs, and other figures. And also a contextual analysis of this data should explain the meaning in the sentence from report. So this graphs, etc., charts should reflect the information that you write in the report on data collection, recruitment, and participants, data that corresponds to central research questions, secondary findings, that is secondary outcomes, subgroup analysis, etc. So now the best way to organize the results section is logically. One logical and clear method of organizing the results is to provide them alongside the research questions. So when you mention the research results along with the research question, then it will be more meaningful and it will look more logical. So that's the best way of writing your results that you obtain.